Now, turning to Germany, where the whole country is fixated on a murder case. The politician is dead and the suspect is in custody. Invigilators believe, or investigators, I beg your pardon, believe the alleged shooter may have had a political motive and a neo-Nazi past. My colleague Benes Abubedu Lansa earlier spoke to political correspondent William Glucroft with our partners in Berlin, DW.
Yeah, it's quite a shocker here in Germany. Walter Lübcke is his name. He's a regional council president in Western Germany, part of Angela Merkel's conservative ruling party, the CDU. Very outspoken supporter of Angela Merkel and her migration policies. He was found dead with a gunshot wound to his head, a close-range gunshot wound on his front lawn in front of his house on June 2nd. It was a huge mystery. Political murders, of course, don't happen very often in Germany. The last one was in the 1970s, carried out by left-wing extremists. And, of course, right-wing extremists haven't been active since the Nazi period in terms of murders and major crimes. So there was a lot of speculation swirling about why this politician, Walter Lübcke, was murdered in front of his house. Then on the weekend, we had the first big break in the case. Apparently, DNA evidence led investigators and police in the western part of Germany to a suspect, a 45-year-old Stefan E. In Germany, we don't use the full last name of suspects to protect their privacy and protect their presumed innocence. And he was already speculated in media reports for having right-wing, extreme right-wing ties, and that is what federal prosecutors also confirmed in a follow-up press conference.
Give us more details about how this became a bigger political story.
Well, now that the federal prosecution has first of all gotten involved with this case, the fact that the federal prosecution is involved is already a sign that this is a major case in Germany. Federal prosecutors in Germany tend to only be involved in major crimes, high crimes, crimes against the state, threats to the state, these kinds of things, not everyday crime, everyday murder. So the fact that they're there at all says a lot about the status of this murder, and the fact that they have confirmed that they are looking into neo-Nazi links is a very sensitive issue for Germany. It's gone from just a murder, a shocking murder of a politician, of a local leader, to something that might be much deeper and much broader. It is being compared to previous murders by far-right terrorists, notably a group called the National Socialist Underground that carried out a series of murders of non-Germans or Germans of foreign roots in the first part of the 2000s. It was a long investigation. The police and intelligence services were criticized for botching the investigation, for dragging their feet, for not quickly uncovering a much larger network. Now, in this case with Walter Lübcke, so far it's being treated as a lone wolf case. The man, Stefan E., he is said to have a criminal record, a criminal background, and to have in the past been involved in far-right and neo-Nazi groups. Whether this was a political motive, whether he carried out this with a political motive, with a far-right agenda, remains to be seen. And whether there's additional conspirators who may have supported him and helped him in this crime is something prosecutors so far have not found evidence for, but are not ruling out. But certainly, all across Germany, all across the political spectrum, a lot of anxiety and nervousness about what this might mean, about what might not yet have been found, that this could very well be the tip of the iceberg of a far-right, of another extreme far-right movement.
Has Germany had issues with far-right extremists in recent time, or would you consider this an isolated case?
Well, this is definitely not an isolated case. As said, this is connected to a rise in far-right violence. The president of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, came out heavily criticized, especially online commentary, online opinions from far-right groups that savagely criticize and attack verbally and promote murder and death and violence of politicians who speak out for immigrants, who speak out for minorities, who speak out for refugees. Walter Lübcke was an outspoken supporter of migration, of the 2015, especially 2015 migration wave that we saw here in Germany. He's quite well known for having said that Germans who don't like the open door policy, the open policy for migrants. They could leave the country if they like. That got a lot of criticism. Walter Lübcke, it's coming out in media reports, has had a long history of threats and verbal attacks on him for his strong support for minorities, for immigrants, for refugees. So this is all being looked into, and again, this comes on the back of the National Socialist underground of social movements, far-right social movements that have really propelled the far-right Alternative for Germany party into parliament, into national parliament for the first time. Although this party has denounced this murder, many of their members are very cozily linked to some of these more extreme far-right groups. So there's a lot left to wonder about just how much Germany, which strives to confront its far-right and Nazi past, may still have left to go in doing that.